Hi everybody, and I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but here goes. I'm going to make a really simple, very traditional Italian-American side dish today. Actually, something that we always just called Italian green beans growing up. These bigger, flatter green beans here, they're actually known as Romano beans. Sometimes they're also called pole beans. And you know, the flavor is more or less the same as regular green beans, but it's the texture that sets them apart. They're much meatier and heartier, and they can hold up to longer cooking techniques. And what you'll find is that I'm actually going to overcook them a little bit, which is actually very Italian American. And I'm going to serve them with these potatoes. Real simple, lots of garlic, a fair amount of olive oil. But for something different, and this is not traditional, I'm gonna caramelize some onions and throw that in there because I just think the sweetness of the onions will be really nice with that. And I'm gonna make all this in my beautiful copper Sortoto pan, which I love working with. But we're gonna boil first. So right now I have some water waiting to boil, some salted water, which we're gonna be using for the green beans and the potatoes. So hang in there, we'll be right back. So I wanted to share one of my favorite, if not my favorite, gadget in my kitchen. I use a lot of sliced garlic in my recipes, and I've actually gotten a lot of questions as how do you slice it, how do you get it that thin? Well, this is how. It's this little machine right here, which I got in Italy years ago, and I've replaced it over the years. As I've traveled, I've gotten new ones because I wear them out so much. It's essentially like a little mandolin for garlic. You can also shred it, but it's really easy. You just take the garlic cloves, kind of stuff it in there, you put the top on, and then you just, I really can't do this with one hand, but you hopefully get the picture. You just slide it along, and the result is really nicely thin garlic. See? Super, super thin slices. Works just as nicely as minced. In fact, I think it adds a little more character to the dish. And again, here is the all-star garlic slicer. Okay, everyone, so we are ready to get started, more or less. So this is, yeah, we're here in New York City. There's my neighbor's windows. But okay, we've got our black pepper, we've got our Sicilian sea salt, we've got our peperoncino, which actually comes from Abruzzo. I've got some sliced yellow onion, I've got some sliced fresh garlic. Here are those Romano beans I sliced off. I actually just pulled off the ends, and I if they were big, I cut them in half. Here are some potatoes. This is actually a fancy heirloom potato that I got at the Union Square Farmers Market. I honestly don't even remember the name, but it is very similar to a Yukon Gold. So very thin skins, I just kept them on, and any all-purpose potato will do. And then I have my olive oil. So we have boiling water. What I'm going to do is drop these green beans in there for about 5 minutes, or until they're, I'd say al dente or a little less than al dente. And then I'm going to take them out and... Okay, and so while the green beans are being blanched, I'm going to quickly saute some onions right here in my gorgeous copper pan. So I just put a little bit of olive oil. In go the onions. I'm just going to quickly saute these. They don't need to be super caramelized as if you're making French onion soup or anything like that. I just wanted to add a little sweetness to the final dish. And I think that'll do. Sorry, I'm moving around a little bit here. But okay, so we have our green beans going. I'm going to put the lid back on there to bring that back to a boil. And you can hear this is about to sizzle. All right, so I'm going to let these go for as long as the green beans are being blanched. So our onions are, I'm going to let them still go a little bit longer. It's been about 5 minutes. These green beans are ready to come out. You know, timing is not as important with these because, as I mentioned earlier, they're actually going to be overcooked a bit the way that I do them. Frankly, because that is how I had them growing up, and that's how I like them. And there you go. Actually, a little very Italian American too. And because I'm going to be using this water to also cook the potatoes, I don't want to dump it into the sink, so I'm just using this right here to take them out. And again, I don't need to blanch these in or shock them in ice water to stop the cooking process, because they are ultimately going to be a little overcooked anyway. Okay, so in go to the potatoes. Watch the splash factor. And cover goes on. We'll be back. Okay, so the onions went a little bit longer than I anticipated. Now I'm going to add in, that's 1 heaping tablespoonful of garlic. And guess what? I'm putting 2 in. I know you might think, some of you might think that's just too much, but that's okay. You can definitely put less to your liking. That's not a big deal. So we're going to let this go a little bit. Potatoes are still going. It's only been not quite 5 minutes. We're getting there. Okay, be back soon. Okay, so the garlic's been going a little bit, not too long, really only about 2 minutes. And in go the green beans. And I'm also going to add a little bit more olive oil at this point. I'm going to add some salt. I'm using Sicilian sea salt, but any salt you have is fine. And I'm going to mix these guys up. You definitely want to get all that good onion and garlic flavor and olive oil flavor into the green beans. They are going to continue to cook a little bit more here. Again, like I said, my goal here is to actually get them really soft and overcooked a little bit. But if you like a crunchier green bean, feel free to cut down the cooking time. All right, so at this point, we are just waiting for the potatoes to finish, and then we're going to add them in. These potatoes, they're done. It took about 10 minutes, not that long. These will cut into roughly about 1-inch pieces, cubes. They're not all even. Sorry about that. Alright, at this point we're just going to mix everything together. And then I'm going to cover it and let it cook a little bit longer. And I'll just mix these guys up. Off the potato. Looking good. Alright, I'm going to season it. I'll be back soon.